So last time we discussed about Shraddha. Shraddha is to look upon an attitude that Shastra is a pramanam. That means I surrender to pramana. That means my buddhi may say something, I may feel something else, but then I trust or I go by what Shastra says. As the example I gave you last time, suppose I show you something and tell you that look at my hand, I am holding a red rose in my hand, and then you may listen that. This statement gives you a knowledge that Swamiji is holding a rose. But the eyes give you the knowledge that there is nothing in the head. Pramana to know the forms, pramana to know the color are the eyes. So you go by what eyes say, not what ears tell you. That is called pramana buddhi. That is called Shraddha on Shastra. So, similarly, my buddhi may say me something, but I don't go by buddhi. I don't go by my notions or my ideas. I don't go by my concept, my views, but then I go by what teacher says. That means even if I don't see that, what teacher says, I accept it pending discovery. Okay, please understand. Shraddha, first part of Shraddha is that you go by pramana. You trust your eyes. Here you trust the Shastra, you trust the teacher. But that doesn't mean whatever teacher says, you just gulp it down. No. I go by teacher and I accept it pending discovery. That is Shraddha. I trust totally that what the teacher says must be true. With that attitude, I pursue the teachings to see the truth behind it. In other words, as of now, I feel I am right. I feel I know. And as I said in the earlier class, what teachers tells, what Shastra reveal is just opposite to what I think is the truth. What I conceive it to be true, what I know it to be true. It is just opposite. It's quite difficult or almost impossible. Like even I look upon myself as dukhi, I look upon myself as limited, I look upon myself as subject to birth and death. And Shastra says you are Purna. Shastra says you are not dukhi, you are not subject to time, no limitations of time or space. So I accept this statement pending discovery. That means this is the truth, and perhaps I may be wrong. It's very difficult to accept and start with I may be wrong. The ego always says I am Mr. Right or I am Mrs. Right or Miss Right. For that Shraddha comes, I may be wrong, and that may be the truth. Accepting this with that attitude, I pursue further the teaching. That is Shraddha. That is called Vedanta Vakyeshu Shraddha. Then there is a word Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Shraddha. Vakyeshu Vishwasa. Of course, there is no Adi here. But there should be Shraddha on the Guru as well. For two reasons. Shastra, the Pramana, is in the form of the words. And as we said, words lend itself for misunderstanding. Words always lend itself for confusion. Well, words themselves do not confuse, but the human mind tends to confuse the things. Since it's a words, and what kind of words? Look at this paradoxical situation. The thing that is conveyed through the words is beyond the words. The thing that is to be understood by the mind is beyond the mind. Yan manasana manute yena ahur manor matam. Na tatra vag gacchati na chakshur na manaha. Nothing reaches out. So that which is beyond the words is conveyed through the words. One. Secondly, when it is said beyond the words, please understand that which is not the direct meaning of the word. This teaching is through the implied meaning, building a context and revealing the thing, technically called as Lakshava. Through Lakshyartha, it has to be revealed. So the words needs to be handled by the teacher. On two counts, because it is not Vachyartha, not the direct meaning. So teacher needs to build up the context. The teacher holds the key, provided he or she is a traditional teacher. The tradition holds the key to unlock these words and see the meaning properly. Like we will see in the latter part of this book, Pancha Kosha Viveka. There are 5 koshas. Kosha means sheets, covering. People take it literally and they draw. There are drawings available, youth circle, and there is a second circle, third circle, fourth circle, and the fifth circle. And inside that is Atma, Panchakosha. 5 sheets, 5 coverings. There's Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. It is not covered, it is as though covered. Covering, not really covered. We will see how as though it is. Or this word, Satchid Ananda, they interpret Ananda as bliss. The translation, and then there's Ananda means some divine experience. That divine experience, they call it bliss. Because local Ananda is not Atma Ananda, they think that way. So ice cream Ananda is not Ananda. Then Rasam Ananda, today I had that Rasam Ananda. I happen to be in Manjikudi, So Dosa Ananda, no, that is beyond senses. It's not true. You need the tradition to understand. Ananda means fullness. Ananda and Ananta, they are synonym. That Atma is full, complete, limitless, always. There is an experiential fullness. When you had extra helping of few dosas, when you have extra helping of few laddus as item which you like, but that is experiential fullness, limited by time, by situation and a place. I am full, irrespective of times, place and situation. That's the meaning. That's where you need a tradition. Teacher needs to unfold, unlock the proper meaning of the words. And irony is, teacher has to use the known words and knock off the known meaning and make the student see unknown thing. Like this Ananda. Ananda means Sukham. And then the known meaning is all Ananda, ice cream Ananda, and Pakoda Bhaji Ananda, and Gathia Ananda, and Jalebi Ananda, all kinds of, and movie Ananda, music Ananda. No. So therefore, Guru becomes important. Another thing, human mind is a very complex instrument. And there are so many complexities in the mind. Each one has his or her own background. Each one carries some pain bodies. Each one carries some memories, and memory causes judgmental approach to the world. That complexities of the mind needs to be addressed. It has to be simple thinking mind. The mind which is not burdened, not hijacked, thinking is not hijacked by those notions or the past memories. To make the mind simple, to help the student to gain that simple objective thinking mind, Guru may add few things. Guru may tell few things to a student. That is where Shraddha becomes necessary. One more aspect to Shraddha is when there is a Gurukula Vasa, then a Guru is teaching many students, few students, that even if not many. And more so when you are Antevasi. Ante means Guroho Samipe Vasati Nivasati. You live in the proximity of a teacher. Like sibling problems come, the childhood problems. Guru may do or say something to someone, and this fellow may get offended or hurt or feel jealous or feel left out or whatever kind of. Guru may be doing something or other, this person may be judgmental and may look upon Guru as an ordinary human being, carrying certain improper behavior or improper thinking. That thing comes out. You see, Guru Shraddha is to have a Deva Buddhi in the Guru. That Narada Bhakti Sutra, there he mentions, one may meet Guru, but to have that attitude of surrender and have that attitude of total acceptance of the person is very rare. I don't judge him or her by his or her deeds. I see the teacher as a medium, as an instrument, as something through whom Ishvara's Sankalpa manifests. The Guru being a person free from any ahankara, he is a right instrument for Ishvara to work upon, work through him. So Guru's Sankalpas, Guru's statements are looked upon by me as the statement of the Lord himself. I see the teacher as the one who manifests Ishvara to me. Both ways, from the Tattva standpoint of view and from Vyavahara standpoint. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagi. I have not seen Ishvara. I have not owned up Ishvara as myself. Till then, the teacher is the one who enjoys that heart, who enjoys that upadhi, through which Lord manifests. to look upon the teacher as this is called Guru Shraddha. Some statements, some conduct, some deeds of Guru may not be acceptable in my perception. I may feel it is improper. I may feel this is no good. But then to see that as an expression of the Lord. More so, as I said, when you are Antevasi, a teacher, one who knows this Tattva, has a very, very subtle perception about the world and about the people. Drashyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhi. That Kathopanishad Yamaraja says, you need a very, very subtle intellect to see the truth. The intellect is so sharpened through the process of sadhana, primarily being introspective, primarily having this Ishwararpan Buddhi Karma Yoga attitude. Unless some degree of subtlety is attained, one cannot know the truth. So when the teacher knows the truth, that implies he enjoys certain sharp and subtle buddhi. For a teacher, like a parent, they like for any given parents, all the children are same. As they say in Gujarati, Panche Angla, all the 5 fingers belong to one hand. So though they are not same, but I care equally for all the 5. So teacher loves each student equally. Why a student? They are ahetuka daya sindava. There is just sheer compassion. Just totally that individuality not being there, there is a totally giving heart. The heart which sees the pain, the heart which sees the suffering of a given individual, given group of people and the society and the nation and the culture per se. And he or she may be always out of compassion, may be helping one to grow. The other students may not enjoy that subtlety, why this is done. The relationship between a teacher and student is always one-to-one. That being a case, it's not a group relationship. Being one-to-one, some advice or some deeds or some actions or something is given to given person to help that person to grow, to remove the inhibitions, those roadblocks, psychological roadblocks that person enjoys. Person has, not enjoys. He may not enjoy one. And the teacher may give certain degree of freedom to that person. Certain extra mile teacher may go to accommodate that person. And those others may tend to judge why this way. To respect the sankalpa of a teacher, to respect the compassion of a teacher, to respect the deeds of a teacher as mandate of the God, that is Guru Shraddha, as a person. You trust him in terms of unfolding the Shastras because he holds the key, traditional teaching. And as an individual, with reference to myself, Guru's conduct to myself, I look upon his words, his few things which two teachers asked me to do or said to me is only to help me to gain that necessary frame of mind to own up the knowledge. That applies to other students also. So whatever teacher says to someone else, in whatever way he or she relates to someone else, it is only to help that person to grow. And he or she is always helping each one of us to grow. To have that attitude becomes a Shraddha on Guru. So there may be so many statements by this teacher which you may not find in Shastras. Because there is a contemporary student. and there are contemporary problems, and there are contemporary ways of communicating. So we trust the teacher. He knows the tradition. He knows the methodology of teaching. He has that knack of handling the words, and I respect that and surrender the case. That is Shraddha. Lastly, as I said, very seeking denies the sought. Like the search for the 10th man. The fellow who searches the 10th person himself is the 10th guy. The very seeking is a denial of the 10th. That's how he or she seeks outside, that I am not the 10th one. So also very seeking for happiness, there is a denial that I am not happy. That's where you begin with Shraddha. When the teacher says, seeker is the sought, then I have an open mind that yes, perhaps this may be true, and I pursue the teaching. Why? The thing to be known is hidden right behind the knower. Not behind the knower, it's a very substratum of the knower. No, there is no two things hidden behind. There is a problem of the language. That is where I said Lakshyartha. Like even the snake that you see on the road, which is actually Rajju Sarpa. There is a rope. We may say rope is hidden right behind the snake. It is not there is a snake and behind the rope is hiding. The rope is of the same size and same thickness and same curves as the snake. No. In fact, the curves belong to rope, the size belong to rope, thickness belong to rope. Snake is simply superimposed. Understand the word behind. There is nothing behind. So the known is behind the knower. That being the case, Shraddha becomes necessary. Thereafter, there is one more value, one among the Shat Sampatti. That is, understand all these are wealth. There is a Vakya in Upanishad. Shraddha Vitto Bhutva. May you be the one who has riches in terms of Shraddha. There are different types of Lakshmi. Ashtalakshmi we call it. Dhana Lakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, Dhairya Lakshmi, Virya Lakshmi, Vijaya Lakshmi, Graha Lakshmi, Santana, all kinds of Lakshmi. There's Chennai has the temple, Lakshmi temple. All this is Lakshmis for samsari. For moksha marga, what is the real wealth? Shraddha. That Shraddha fructifies. Please understand. Shraddha fructifies in terms of the sankalpa in the heart of the teacher. Kathopanishad says, Yame Vaishe Vrunute Tasaiva Vivrunute Tanum Swam. Varana Karna means select. Varamala, Varanam. So to whom teacher does Varanam, to that person Atma reveals. So the Shraddha is the means to earn Guru Krupa. And when there is a Guru Krupa, there is a guarantee for the knowledge. And you enjoy. This Krupa you cannot define. There is no synonym for Krupa. Like, I don't know, maybe there in English, but Vatsalya, Vatsalya of the mother, or Vatsalya of somebody who is fatherly to or motherly to us, undefinable. You measure love and compassion, and that's okay. Similarly, Krupa, that you see, again I have to use the known word, but you have to understand not the known meaning. You feel the prasannata. You see the eyes of the Guru. You see you discover the relationship between each one. That I enjoy that grace. That Krupa comes when there is a Shraddha. Shraddha brings Sharanagati, and that Sharanagati you won the Krupa. Shraddha brings out Seva. Shraddha brings out surrender. And that brings out the knowledge from the heart of the teacher. When Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, Shishyasteham Sadimam Tvam Prapanna. That time, Gita just came out. There is a Vakya. Ya Swam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinisruta. Jैसे बोले निकल पड़ी. It just came out. That Gita was there in the heart of the word Buddhi of the Krishna, but never came out. And it found a right attitude, right frame of mind that Arjuna happened to have that at moment. Gita just couldn't contain itself. The knowledge could not contain itself. It comes out. I don't know why Shankaracharya ji writes like this, but I have seen that. I have experienced that. There is a shloka. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. In the 4th chapter. May you know that truth. Tatvidhi. Tat Brahma, may you know. How? Pranipata, Dirga Namaskara, Sashtang Namaskara, Pariprashna, with a proper question, and Seva. Okay, these are the 3 sadhanas. Or you can say this is a bhava you should have. Ittham bhute trutiya or karane trutiya. Whatever you mean. Both ways you can look upon. But Ittham bhuta is better. You be the one who is surrendered, doing exit. You be the one who has seva. You be the one who always questions to know, not just question to pass time, not question to test the teacher, question to remove my confusion. You get the knowledge. Now the question comes, one can do namaskaras, 1000 namaskaras. One can ask some questions and one may do seva. That doesn't guarantee the knowledge. That's why all the paid staff is doing Guru Seva to some extent in ashram. So after a few verses, Lord continues that all this should be backed by only one attitude. But that one attitude is like a gunpowder in the bullet. It's like that chemical powder in the capsule. Now, when you take a capsule, you open these 2 caps, then there should be some powder inside. That cures. Well, Mayavati has done a good job. UP was full of these bogus companies. She came down so heavily. They were playing with the lives of the people. And she closed all of them. They were giving the capsule with nothing but glucose. Costly capsule. And all kinds of things they were putting in it and making money. So these are like capsules. Pranipata, Pariprashna and Seva. What is the powder inside? That's one line it says. Shraddhavan labhate jnana. One who is endowed with Shraddha. This Vatup and Matup. Shraddhavan, Buddhiman, Dhanavan, Shriman. The Van and Man in what we say, actually, Pratyay is Vatup and Matup is in a sense of Prachurya. One who has abundance of Shraddha, labhate jnana. He gains jnana. When these seva, Guru seva, pranipata, surrender to Guru, as I said, Shraddha brings out this. Shraddha brings out the moksha, prashna. It brings out, because unless you have Shraddha, you don't ask the question. You ask a question when you feel that this person will remove the doubt. Otherwise, you don't ask. Arjuna did not ask to Bhishma, even though he was right there, but asked Krishna. Pranipata. There, so this Pranipata, Prashna and Seva, when backed by Shraddha, Shankaracharya ji writes in Bhashya. By this, Avarjitaha Vashikrutaha Acharyaha Upadekshyanti te gnana. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Second line says Upadekshyanti te gnanam gnaninas tattvadarshina. So tattvadarshi gnanis will give you, teach you the knowledge. With this is that. In between he adds, by this what happens? Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya ityadina. By this, avarjitaha vashikrutaha acharya. Sarvatantra swatantra guru becomes vasha. Vashikrita means what? He or she is compelled to teach. That attitude of student invokes a feeling in the heart of a guru by which knowledge comes out. Arjuna, when said surrender, Uchami tvam dharma sammuta cheta yat sreyasyat nishchitam bruhitam, etc. It is not that Lord Krishna taught. Lord Krishna was compelled to teach. He could not contain. That bhava of the student got reflected in the heart of the teacher. That reflection brings out the teaching. Therefore, it is said, there is a shloka, Gita Sugita Kartavya. You should study Gita well. What is Gita? Ya Swam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinisruta. That Gita, which just slipped, Sari padi jane Gujarati ke, from the mouth of Padmanabha. Mukha Padmat Vinisruta. So this is Guru Krupa. Guru Krupa doesn't mean he will bless dabbo, typical. Hey, dab diya, bas Ashirwad moksha ho gaya. Or Guru Krupa doesn't mean that dapat you. These Vaishnavas have this in Srinathji, or dapat you in this Jagannath Puri. You go there, Panda is telling, he gives you one. That's supposedly the cloth of the Bhagavan. And bas, I got one, I am mukta. No. He may bless you out of compassion, some worldly things. But the real blessing is he or she feels like teaching you. He or she feels like removing the ignorance. Just ahetuka daya. That daya comes out in terms of helping the student to gain that simple thinking mind. Clean mind. Not mind with the complexes and those prejudices and notions. No. Just a simple thinking mind. That is a wealth. That is why it is called Shraddha Vittu. Other wealth can fetch the objects. This wealth of Shraddha can, quote unquote, fetch you the knowledge. If it is at the feet of proper teacher. So, Shraddha leads you to earn Guru Krupa. And the Krupa is, he or she wants to teach. There is a sankalpa, there is a bhava in the mind of a teacher to help you out in terms of total release from the bondage of self. First, he or she may help you for the release from your notions, from improper thinking, from those cobwebs of improper thinking or improper values or attitudes that has been built up from childhood onwards, that he may help you to release and ultimately release of moksha. So Shraddha is a very dynamic quality, guna. It is not just passive surrender, it's a cognitive thing. People call it as emotion of Shraddha. No. That emotions is sometimes love. Sometimes some value that he says we should go by what Swamiji says. I have Shraddha on Gurus. That's fine. I appreciate. That's good that you respect that. But Shraddha is ultimately Pramana Buddhi. Therefore, it is said, Guru Vedanta Vakya Adishu Vishwasaha. There is a Vishwasa. There is a surrender to Vedanta and Guru Vakyas. So it's one kind of bhakti, but what kind of bhakti? Cognitive bhakti, cognitive surrender. Or you can say, as Pujya Swamiji used to say, give a benefit of doubt. And then Shraddha is dynamic, that I look myself. I try to see the fallacy in my thinking. I try to see the fallacy in my notions, in my judgments, rather than seeing the fallacy of the statements of the teacher. So much so, as I said, Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam, that's a affirmative statement. Opposite statement to glorify Shraddha. Bhagavan says at the end of the 18th chapter, of course, in between also, Agnascha Shraddhadanascha Samshayatma Vinashyati. One who doesn't have Shraddha, Vinashyati, perishes. Doesn't mean he or she dies, but the death is to miss the opportunity to gain infinity itself is a death. In the fellows who don't pursue mokshas, they are dead alive. Mrutaha jivan. There is no purpose. That we'll see when we talk of moksha. Then the next sampatti, the wealth, is samadhana. Look at this definition. As I said, it is a question-answer dialogue. Students ask, Samadhanam kim? And the teacher says, Chitta ekagrata. Please understand, this is where you need the tradition. As I say, teacher can unlock the words. When you say Chitta ekagrata, generally people say concentration of the mind. That's not. Ekagrata means capacity to focus the mind on only and only one thing. There is a difference between concentration and capacity to focus. Chitta ekagrata means one track thinking, track, not one object focusing. Chitta ekagrata. Chittasya agre. Agre means ahead or front. In front of the mind is only one thing. Mind means you. There is only one thing in front of me. That means that there is only one thing that I have to pursue. What is it? See, concentration is fixing the mind on one thing. But to keep the mind on one track is samadha. One may concentrate, but what is samadhanam? I mean, a more common example I can give, like a student who has decided to pass the 12th grade exam so that in Indian background, he or she may go for medicine. At the back of the mind, there is only one goal he or she wants to pursue. Each one of us is blessed with samadhan. Ekasmin vishaye chittasya samyak adhanam. To put my mind in one vastu. The problem comes, the distraction. This, when you are talking of concentration, you are focusing only on one thing, sort of one vritti, repetition. But here, there is only one goal that I am trying to pursue. Each one of us has this samadhana. It is wrong to say, that you develop concentration, you develop one track mind. No, it is gifted. Look at this. A child, suppose typical Indian scenario, whole family sees one serial, TV serial at a given time. Suppose 8:39 when the children are free and the bedtime, and father and mother is watching in the bedroom, and children also happen to they have to watch that serial. Before this popular TV serial, there will be number of advertisements. The child who incidentally happens to listen, he's not interested. Mom gives him something and he's playing, but he just listens. Remembers every advertisement, every commercial. After 4 or 5 weeks, when the commercials start, he maybe also starts singing. Same tone, same thing, same words. There is one trick mind. You see, the problem comes. Why samadhanam is difficult, or even concentration? There is a cognitive value for something. So you put your mind to the track. I have to study, I have to pass exams. That's a cognitive value. But I like mathematics, I like English. Then you will remember all the dialogues of English lessons and all the poetries and everything. There is a concentration and cognitive value. There may be compelling also, because of I want to have marks. Or there may be some self-developed value. I have to do this. It's a set goal setting. But there is no emotional value. When the cognitive value is backed by emotional value, it is simple. It is natural. As I said, if I like mathematics, there is a value cognitive that I have to score good marks. I need to score 100 out of 100 to increase my percentile. And I will focus all the time on mathematics. Natural. Focus means my priority also will be mathematics. Easy. Just remember your school days. When you return from the school, there were 3-4 subjects. There was homework for 3-4 subjects. Which one you start first with? Where there is samadhana. Suppose I like mathematics, I do maths. Suppose I like language, English, I do English homework first. Suppose I like history, I will do the first. All the 3 children want to score good marks. That's a cognitive value. But there is emotional value also. So, there is an emotional value. And here, one should know that mind has to move. Mind is chalam. It will move. It is its nature. Samadhana means capacity to bring back it and push it to the same focus. Persistently, repetitively. I never give up. I bring back it and again put back to the track. This capacity to bring back the mind and put it to the desired track is samadhi. First, to capacity to pursue given track, but the mind will move. And then to be conscious of the movements of the mind, conscious of the alienation of the mind from the desired track, and capacity to bring it back becomes samadhi. In the 6th chapter, we shall see Chanchalam hi Manak Krishna. Bhagavan says, Chalam hi Arjuna. Arjuna Manas Chalam. It is Chanchalam because it is my product. I have designed it to be. That's why you can do Vyavhar. But then I want only that focus. See, I'll bring back my own confusion about Samadhanam, Ekagrata. I grew up studying the story of Mahabharata. Some of you might have studied in schools. There was a lesson that Guru Dronacharya took examination of the their students, Pandavas and Kauravas. And they were supposed to hit a bird on a distant tree. May not be real, I hope so, because it will not stay so long. So he might have built a fluffy bird and you have to hit the eyes. And Guruji, this story our teacher used to say. I didn't understand the story then. I had all problems. I was confused. Teacher called one by one, Duryodhana. He said, what do you see? Oh, I see the tree and the mango grows and all that. Come on, go, get lost. Teacher said, no, you don't shoot. They had to just shoot. Then he called Bhima. He said, what do you see? I see very sweet mangoes. He was a eater, He liked to eat that. Everybody said something else. Finally, Arjuna came and he said, what do you see? He said, I see only the branch and the bird. Then he said, what do you see? I see only the bird. And he said, what do you see? I see only the eye. And Guru said, shoot! And he shot. That I'm sure. Duryodhana or Bhima also could have hit that eye. This story of Samadhi. To explain it further, I'll tell you another story of Pandavas. Gurukul Vasa. There is a story. Dronacharya had mandated to their cook. That was a residential boarding school. They lived together. And they being a prince, royal family, they had a cook. Otherwise, students do all the sevas. Dronacharya had mandated the cook that you must prepare their evening supper and feed them before sunset. That was a rule. He was very particular about it, and he adhered the rule. All the time made sure that they had a supper before sunset, like Choviar for the Jains, I'm sure. It is, by the way, it's good to have it before, so that Madhya Pradesh don't grow. And then it keeps you healthy. So, as the story goes, Dronacharya had to go out for something. And he, after 3 days, must have gone to some meetings, some Acharya Sabha meeting. After all, Dronacharya was a great teacher. So let me identify with him. He went for such meetings. And after 4 days, he came back. It was dark night. And he heard some noise. Ting, ting. Some hitting. Some arrows hitting some object. Without questioning what is that and who is that and where is that, he called the cook. He said, call the cook. When some of the students knew he came and they were waiting in front of him, and Dronacharya just paused like this and said, call the cook. Student thought Guru is thinking about the noise coming out and wondering what it is. And he says, call the cook. The cook came. And the first question he asked, did you feed the students in dark night after sunset? The cook was really afraid. And he said, yes, sorry, sir, but I was helpless. It was so much of windy and so much of dust. I tried to lit the fire and I just couldn't cook till the sun set. By the time of setting of the sun, this wind subsided, and then I could lit the fire, and then I could cook, and I had no choice but to feed them in dark. Did you feed them twice, 2 days? He said, yes, sir. Now the cook thought, I'll get punishment. He says, go. Dronacharya says, go. Then he told one of the students, go to this direction where the noise is coming. Call Arjuna. Without knowing. All were wondering, how come he says so? But after all, Guru Agnya, they went and they found Arjuna says, you are being called. Then he asked him, he says, what are you doing? He says, I was practicing Shabda Vedi Band. So you can hit the object by just listening to sound. So first I learned how to hit it in darkness. Then he asked, did you understand why I love Arjuna more? No, obviously, there was no connection. He says, Arjuna, now tell me, where did you learn this? I have not taught. Arjuna was so happy. He said, Guruji, I can hit the object in the dark. If I know I've seen the daytime, I can hit it out. I practiced and got it. He says, how did you learn within 4 days? Then he says, first day I ate in dark. And one thing I discovered, even though in dark every day I know on the right hand side there is a dal and there is chapati and there is sabji and there is pickle and there is rice, whatever. So my hand only goes there by just practice. So then I discovered if you practice during daytime, it can work at night time also. And so for last 3 days I have been practicing and I got it. This is called samadha. One focus. I want to learn. I want to be the master in the archery. I am sure Arjuna also might have felt little sluggishness and lazy not to do, but put back to the mind, call back the mind and put it on one track. That is samadhi. Every successful player, national level medal winner, has samadhi. He or she must have practiced so vigorously, so regularly. Never let any tamas to overpower this commitment. Tamas or rajas, another likes and dislikes. To overcome this habit, then they must have gone to some party and must have felt, let me eat 2, 3 helping more. No, tomorrow I have to go early morning practice. And if the stomach is heavy, it will hurt, it will not help me. All kinds of disciplines in terms of sleeping, in terms of eating, in terms of conducting themselves, because there is only one thing in the front of mind. When Arjuna says, I see only the bird, it is not like our zoom cameras, like cricket team. They show you the whole ground and then focus on the players coming and then focus on the batsman and focus on the batsman who is taking stand. You see only his half the body, face. That is similarly Arjuna eyes didn't have some screw here where he focused on the eye and I see only the eyes. When he says I see only the eyes, that means chittasya agare. There is only one thing to shoot. There is only one thing that I have to hit that. That is called samadhana. And when the mind moves, people often complain. And that is another problem. They say, Swamiji, when I do japa, mind is wandering a lot. Statement. When I do japa, घूमता है. जप में मन बहुत चला जाता है. अरे, it is a wrong statement. It is not that while doing japa the mind goes away. The mind is running away, but you discover that only when you do japa. Daytime also it is like that. And when the one says how to focus, the only answer is bring back the mind. The practice of bringing back the mind is meditation. You need not, it's good to do, but in case if you can't, you need not sit and meditate all the time. Even while conducting myself in this world, I remain focused. Look at the people. When they meet from one topic to another, they just go around, wandering mind, wandering discussions, waste of time. Then bring it back to that focus and sort of you bank the thinking. River like a river banking. Put the boundaries and then see the thought flow moves within the boundaries. That is called samadhi. Attempt to bring back the mind even while waking is meditation, and to develop that capacity that I immediately bring back is samadhi. You try to bring back after a long time. Generally, while doing mala, when the Meru comes, then you realize, oh, I am doing Sri Krishna Saranam. That's a wrong way. But to recognize it immediately, that is samadhi. And the process to gain that capacity, you can call it a meditation. I again and again bring back the mind and focus it to only one thing, that is samadhana. Okay. Last but not the least, another interpretation of samadhana also is there. You know, samadhana means to enjoy the mind which is not interested in doing many things, which is not interested in too many things and objects, like table talk. I can talk on all the topics. But the samadhana is not doing many things, but doing only one thing. I have a focus. This is a modern interpretation of samadhana. Absence of multitasking is samadhana. Today we want to maximize the time and do the things. No. One thing at a time. Like that English proverb, work while you work and play while you play. That is the way to be happy and gay. The second part is questionable, happy and gay, because modern gay meaning is also different. But then, what I say, that samadhanam is a wealth, one track mind capacity. Once I decide, I can put the mind on a given track. That samadhanam means a together personality, person who is together. I tell you, Valki was that Valya, Luther Valya was having samadhi. He was one track with reference to loot, and once he understood Ram, one track. That samadhanam can be interpreted as together mind, the personality which is together. That is samadhi. The next value is mokshutvam. We shall see that in the next class. Okay. Now, just before we do Shanti Patha, I would like to share my own happiness. I feel blessed to teach you today. Of course, I feel blessed teaching all the time, but there's extra blessings. But I am here at a place called Manjipudi, where Pujya Swamiji was born and he spent his childhood here. And I happened to sit in a room sharing a wall of his home. I have been given this room to stay, and you can see his picture over my head before I selected this place. And I was here today. There was sort of convocation for the students giving out degrees. Some 327 students passed from Swami College from different disciplines, arts and commerce and BSc, chemistry, physics, computer application, etc. So I was invited for that. Here about 4,000 students are studying And the drainage area for this particular educational institution is almost 20 kilometers radius, which covers more than 250 villages. It's a great blessing. And the students are also lucky to be here because of the goodwill and the blessings of Swamiji. The for the placement, just big companies get placement. Some 22 big companies come here. Almost 85%, 90% get job. 90 plus percent get job from here itself. So it's a great thing to be, and the staff is very good. Of course, Shraddha, and then things are very good. So I was asked, will you take class? I said, yes, I will certainly take class today. I returned from Kumbh Mela yesterday to Trichy. It was a long flight, started at 4 and reached at 9, traveling from Prayagraj to Varanasi and Varanasi to Delhi and Delhi to Chennai and Chennai to Trichy. Long day.
Namaste.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha.